Good morning. This is Choi. We're going to study about the law and ethics in Christian counseling. I just studied pastoral counseling when I was in graduate school, and I studied the family, focused on family, and just wrote a dissertation for the doctorate about the family and how enrich the family spirituality is based on counseling. This is an interesting topic, but it can be a little bit boring because we're gonna just take care of some codes and rules, and in general, that's kind of a boring stuff. But if we just focus on the counseling stuff, but related with codes and laws, and that's kind of a safety, because counselors can manipulate the clients, and at the same time, the counselors can get lots of various kinds of suits. Because, for example, when I counsel a client, but the client, made a suicide, and who's have responsibilities on it? Suicide, the person gonna get responsibilities on his or her life, but at the same time, what if a counselor did something wrong, or even though the counselor doesn't have any problems or mistakes, but the client made suicide, then there can be certain kind of investigations too. So the counselors have to know the laws and ethics at the same time, and the clients have to know what they can ask and what they can get any kind of protections in the counseling settings. So law and ethics in Christian counseling, not only Christian counseling, but in the general counseling situations, we have to know, both counselors and clients know the laws and ethics about it. And clients have to know their laws and ethics also. But in this class, we're gonna just take care of the counselor's responsibilities mainly. Okay, that's the CCM 001, the school code on the class name. This is the course description. The subject of this course is the law and ethics in Christian counseling. What is law and ethics in Christian counseling and how to apply it? We know some laws and codes and ethics in our daily lives, but do we really know, and do we use those laws and codes and ethics in our daily lives? That is kind of different word. So we want to just know, counselors have to know the laws, and we need to learn and practice the laws in our counseling settings. Course objective: the course is designed to understand what the law and ethics in Christian counseling and how to apply it. This course will challenge students to find their own status as Christian and future Christian counselors, an ethical way of practicing Christian counseling. When clients visit counselors, counselors usually ask clients to sign on the agreements, kind of contracts for the counseling. Because counselors are providing counseling service, and clients are gonna get counseling service for free or for basic fees or something like that. The fees are vary. For example, when the counselors have PhD or PsyD, Doctor of Psychology, then they usually charge $300 an hour in the United States, but it depends on the counselors or counseling centers and the relationship between counselors and clients. But typically, $300. It can be more. And then the master degree possessors like MFT, marriage and family therapy or counseling, then they charge like 150 or 200, something like that. And there are lots of free non-profit counseling centers, so we can use those too if we want. And some counseling centers are using the sliding scales, which means they charge depends on the client's financial situations. When clients are, they are poor or low-income people, they usually pay nothing for the counseling at the counseling centers, or basic fees or insurance fees like $5 or $10. But the counseling centers get some fund from givers or from the government when they have a contract with the local government, like a city or a states or federal. Usually city or the states. So when they make a contract, the documents have lots of things on the list, and usually clients don't read them all because it's long. So, but even though whether they read or not, they have that documents, of the contract is filled with lots of conditions and things, including the lots of protections, both counselors and clients, and so they have to know it. And the counselors, especially, they have to know what's going on there, or they can make something wrong, and it can be ended, in the court. So that is kind of tricky. So whenever you provide any service to the clients, and you have to be careful and what situations or in what environments they are providing the counselings to the clients is kind of important too. So that's the textbooks, Christian Counseling Ethics, written by Sanders Randolph. The publications company is IDP. That is the main book for the first 3 or 4 weeks in this class. So we're gonna just take care of some schedules and references, issues, and ethics in the helping professions. Corey Gerald Corey is pretty well-known psychologist and counselors, and he wrote lots of books, and those are all kind of famous books. So that his books are translated in many languages also. So anyway, definitely he was interested in issues and ethics in acting professions, so he wrote this book, and that book is great. And AACC, American Association of Christian Counseling, Code of Ethics, they have American Association of Christian Counseling. Because Christian counseling market is pretty big, because there are lots of Christians. Even though they are not Christians, they can visit Christian counseling centers. And then that association may, publish the code of ethics. So we're gonna take care of that. We're gonna just read and study and just pinpoint some important things in the code of ethics. So that is kind of crucial. We're gonna just take care of AACC codes and ethics for like 5 or 6 weeks. So we're gonna just take care of those codes. Okay, there are some course requirements. First, regular attendance as defined according to the Lordland University. So please come. If you don't come, you have to, because we have coronavirus, because and students can come, and then you have to, open your laptop or computer and you have to watch this video, and then you're gonna just do your assignments at the same time, and we're gonna have exams too. So please come or watch this video. And students are expected to attend each class period for the full duration of the class, as a roll call will be staged at the beginning of each class. Yes, it is the responsibility of each student who arrives for class after the roll call has been completed to consult with the instructor to ensure that the instructor has a record of his or her presence. Okay. And students should also be aware that tardiness and absences will impact the instructor's assessment of the students' participation. Sure, yeah. Second, participation. The course follows a lecture discussion format. Yes, this is not the one-way class, because we have to ask questions and answer to the questions at the same time, and we can share some things, and maybe we can take care of some cases, so we can learn a little bit more solid way by taking care of some cases. The course follows a lecture discussion format. Students should expect to read assignments, please read it, and actively participate in the class. Third, assignments. Well, students don't like assignments and exams, but without them, you're not gonna read, you're not gonna study, so that's how it works. A paper is required. It is a library research project in which each student selects a leader to conduct comparative library research on the study of Christian counseling, ethics and laws in Christian counseling. Sorry for the misinformation. And see the extra handout for the deteriorations. Final exam. Yes, students will take the final exam on the last day. The final exam format is multiple choices and short writing. So the multiple choices can be more tricky actually if you write, to the questions. That can be easier, but multiple choices I can't give you any, you know, extra points for that. Just think about it. And multiple choices will not be that easy. So if you don't know something right correctly, you can get confused on it. And grade assessment, attendance 10%, participation 20%, assignments 30%, final exam is 40%, so total is 100%. I think you are familiar with that kind of things. Well, this is our schedule. The first week, our ethical degree. We're gonna just take up our ethical degree as counselors or counseling providers. So you're gonna read the Sanders page 7 to 32. Next week, the second week is vital basics of ethical counseling. Yes. The third, ethical decision-making model, because we have to make decisions, even though we know all the codes and laws and those are there, but it can be confusing, even though we have nice codes and ethics. But counselors have to decide what they are supposed to do, and hopefully don't get involved in the lawsuit or something mess. So you need to make decisions, and then how to make ethical decisions. That can be tricky. 4th through 10th, AACC Code of Ethics. Okay, so 1 through 7 means there is no code 1, code 2, or something like that, but that's the weeks. So first, we're gonna just take care of 7. Or I know, even though there is a schedule, I'm thinking if we cannot take care of those first 3 topics, we can take another week or 1.5, and most 2 weeks. So, but basically we're gonna take care of them all anyway. So please read. Those are reading assignments. So I want to just take care of the assignments I gave you. So those are your reading assignments. Please read. Please read and underline, or just think about the questions you want to have in your mind. And ethical decree, that's the first topic today. Excuse me. So ethical decree is pretty it covers almost everything about the code, but it's about the kind of a code mind in the codes. But that's our basic attitude as counselors. When Christians who are mental health professionals speak of Christian counseling, the conversation usually turns rather repeatedly to matters of theology. Yeah, because Christian counselings, we have lots of denominations like the Presbyterians, Lutherans, and Methodist, Baptists, and some other things, denominations. I mean, but we got those kind of ethics from our denomination or from our theology, because each denominations have their own theologies, and there can be a little bit differences between other denominations, but theology thing stuff is not thing we cannot avoid, because we are Christians, and depends on what kind of denominations we are in. We basically we have kind of theology. Theology is kind of a structure living, and that is kind of a theory too. So a discussion often centers on the compatibility or incompatibility of various counseling interventions with accepted Christian traditions, or on what constitutes distinctively Christian interventions in counseling. Whenever we have counseling interventions, how we can just deal with it as counselors, as Christian counselors, that is quite important. We need to think about it. And what constitutes distinctively Christian interventions in counseling? So those are the relationships between counseling and interventions. And counseling and psychotherapy are deeply personal endeavors. Yes. Counseling is pretty personal thing. Clients gonna sit with counselors, usually 1-to-1, or it can be 1-to-2. I mean, one counselor and 2 clients, maybe their families or couples, and something like that. And in that case, in those cases, it can be counselor and multiple clients, but usually that is 1-to-1, a counselor and a client. That is very personal. And the counseling usually happening in a counseling room, and that's pretty personal place. Well, if you visit local counseling centers, then you can see there are some counselors and some clients are visiting the counseling centers, and depends on their situations. The counseling center assign a counselor, or clients can choose their own counselors at the same time. But that is pretty personal contract. Even though the contract can be happened between the counseling center and the clients, but they usually have their own counselors. And when you just go in a counseling room, there can be, if you visit counseling centers or personal counseling center, you will see a kind of a CCTV. That is for the safety of both counselors and clients. Because some clients can attack the counselors. It happens. It's happening too. And counselors can do something wrong to their clients too. So for the safety, they usually put the CCTV on the ceilings or side or wherever. The clients have to sign on the contract because that is recorded for the safety reasons. But that they're not gonna just open that to the videotapes to the public, not at all. It can be a huge, violation of the code and laws. When that happens, I don't think that is happening, but when that happens, I think the counselor gonna lose the license, or the counseling centers can close their centers at the same time. That is a huge one, but anyway, that is pretty personal. Even though there are CCTVs in the counseling rooms, but that is still personal and private thing, because that's between a counselor and a client usually. When people come to counseling, they are often immensely troubled and confused. Yes. In therapy, they express feelings, concerns, and secrets they might not feel comfortable sharing with anyone else. Even personal confidence, family or close. At times, the counseling room becomes an intimate, personal environment, even a sacred space. Life-changing experiences sometimes occur. I believe that God is deeply concerned about these encounters. Yes. Well, if you have a trustworthy friend in your life, you can talk with your friend, but it can be uncomfortable when you open your secrets to your best friend. And well, you can open your secrets or problems or concerns to your best friend, but you can do that. But can your best friend help you right way? And how do you know that your best friend have wonderful and one nice solution for your problems? Well, when you have bad feelings on your body, you have physical problems, and where do you go? Whom you are meet with for solving your physical problems? You go down. You see doctors, right? You see doctors. Your family doctor can refer you to specialists, special doctors, something like that. And you have kind of legal problems where you can have the best advice from. You go lawyer's office, or you can go police stations, so you can get some ideas and what's going on, and you can get some solutions from them too. Like that, when clients have something, problems in their mind and in their life situations, they are supposed to meet somebody who can help you right away. Okay? Then that can be, I think it depends on the problems and concerns. Meeting, a counselor can be, one of the solutions. I'm not saying that is the only or the best solution, but that can be one of the options that you can have. You can talk with your best friends or some other people, but those can be wonderful options you can have, and you can get solutions. You can get wise solutions you like, please do it, and your life, your problems can be solved in those ways. Absolutely, we do that. We all do that, and that's what happens in our daily lives. But what if you have something big or sharply thing in your mind, and you are vulnerable, you are confusing, then you can get counselors who have licenses or who are trained the right way, and they are specialists. And so don't hesitate to find good counselors when you have something in your mind, and here or there or wherever you can find any counseling center or counselors you can get, and there are lots of counselors. And there are lots of local counseling centers. If you open your eyes and search that, you will find it. You will find them easily. And then, if you are afraid to pay something, you can find any non-profit counseling centers, so you don't pay little or free. So getting help from counselors isn't a rare thing, but that is popular. That is pretty popular in the United States. So you can get counseling on the phone. You can just meet counselors face to face in a counseling center, and that is, I think, that can be one of the good, one of the options you can have. Excuse me, the water choked me. As professionals and as Christian people, we frequently have the opportunity to reflect the caring love and concern of God to the people we encounter in therapy. The empathic and deeply caring therapies enriched with knowledge, wisdom, and skill can touch lives and facilitate change. Yeah, that's why we pay. Clients pay for the counseling service. As Christian counselors, we can expect something a little bit different on top of the general counseling. Christian counselors are using all general counseling theories and skills, except for some tricky thingy. Some exceptions, because Christian counseling is a little bit different word than to the general counseling, because Christian counselors are Christians, and they are using Christian theologies, and skills too. For example, Christian counselors see their clients as people, created by God. Okay, so Christian counselors are supposed to respect and just see them as our brothers and sisters in Christian world. And what if I just see a client as a person? Yeah, I see that, but but that can be compared to what I see a client as God's people, who, the person who got created by God. And then I have to respect the person more, because it's not just a person. They are not just a person. They are not just clients who need my help, but they are God's people, whether they are believing in God or not. Okay, because Christians are believing all people are created by God. So that kind of theology and see people that can change. They can change the Christian counselor's attitude, Christian counselor's mind, Christian counselor's skills. For example, Christian counselors can pray for their clients if they want. But no secular or we call it secular Christian, But the secular counselors don't pray for their clients. They don't even ask that. And they don't even, expect their clients ask them to pray for them. Because but because they don't believe in God, even though they believe in God, even though they are Christians, but the secular counseling setting, they don't pray for their clients face to face. They can pray in their room or before they meet their clients, but they don't and can't ask their clients that they can pray for them. Okay, that is kind of different. Okay. Our primary aspirational desires should be to do our best to help our clients and to make our actions pleasing to God. Okay, it's not just for making money. Making money is good. We're gonna make money as Christian counselors, so why not? We provided, good services, counseling services, and then we are supposed to get paid. Why not? Christians are not supposed to provide all kinds of services, including Christian counseling service for free. Okay? Even the counselors who are working in non-profit counseling centers, they got paid too, they got salaries too. So making money is no problem. As long as you are making money right way, right? Because Christian counselors study a lot, they have to finish their bachelor, master, and doctorate. They got licenses, and why not? Making money is no problem, right? But the problem is that are we making money right way? That's the problem. Okay? But at the same time, we're gonna please God too, because we are Christians. And we are providing Christian counselors. In our mind, we want to just help our clients. At the same time, we want to please God too. Because Christians are living for a loving God and a loving neighbors. So loving God means because I love God and I got lots of love from God, we are supposed to please God too in many ways. So there's no problem, right? So we're going to please God through our Christian counseling services. Our ongoing guess is to understand what God is calling us to be and to do. Okay? Again, our ongoing task is to understand what God is calling us to be and to do. So as Christian counselors, we need to think about why God called us as Christian counselors, and what God wants us to do as Christian counselors. So that is the kind of a vocation we got, which means calling from God. Okay. In secular setting, the vocations are their jobs. They want to do something good for themselves and for others, but in Christian world, we are thinking about, the loving God and how to please God. Okay, we make money, we got rewarded, but how we can please God too. That is something different, right? And to live in keeping with that calling personally and vocationally. We have people that God loves and redeems to reach out in agape love to others. Because we, as Christian counselors, we believe in God and we just trust God as our God, and we want to just um, help people who God loves from God. Okay, whether they are Christians or not, because we are believing God loves all people. God doesn't love only Christians, because God creates all people, all universe. They are created by God for reasons, and God loves them. God loves them. When God loves a person, I'm supposed to love the person too. So in that sense, if we are Christians, we are not supposed to harm others for our own benefits. We are not supposed to steal others' stuff, only for our interest. Christian countries are not supposed to attack the other countries for our profits. Christians are not supposed to do that. Well, in the past and still in some countries in many Christian communities, they attacking other people, tribes, countries, and rip them off, kill them off, make them disabled, steal their stuff. They build their buildings on other countries' blood. Christians are not supposed to do. If they do that without any guilty feeling, or repenting means you need to just pay them back. Then they are not Christians. They can go and have a Sunday worship, but they are not Christians. And at least they are not right Christians. And Christians are not supposed to do that. So I feel shame as a Christian, I feel shame the past Christian history. Okay? We have a responsibility as people that God loves and redeems to reach out in our love to others. Okay? Clients want to know what they want to know. What they want to know. Will my therapist have the skills to help me? Okay. They want to know the counselor or the psychotherapist can help me. The counselor has good enough knowledge for helping me. Okay, my counselor I'm talking with has lots of knowledge, because the counselor has master's degree, PhD degree, and a doctoral degree. Okay, that means the counselor has good knowledge. But think about the first question. The counselor has skills to help me too. Knowing and skills That's different. That's different. You can know lots of things on fixing cars, but do you have a skill? Do you have a good skills to fix your car? In real, that can be different thing. Well, the doctorates degree and doctorate degree and licenses can be a good way. The clients can trust the counselors, but what about their skills? What about their attitudes? Okay, that is a different story. You know how to build a house. You can study in the library. You can pass the exams. You can get licenses from city or states or from federal. You can be nice contractors, but do you have good skills in real? That can be different. Even though you know all the knowledge on building, why for you skip some things between the wall you cannot see? Okay? It's about the ethics and attitudes. Okay? That is different work. So clients want to know, okay, I know my therapist, my counselor has good degree, nice degree. You know, the counselors put their degree, diplomas on the wall. I see my counselor has a doctorate degree, but will my counselor literally can give me good help with good skills? Well, counselors can learn lots of skills and they actually practice, before they graduate and before they got their licenses, they have to get trained like 5,000 hours, 3,000 hours. And that is not, small. I mean, if you practice like 8 hours a day, for the license, usually they have to practice 3,000 hours, or 5,000, hours practice. Okay? Then, for example, you work full time, 8 hours a day as counselors, which means you provide 8 hours of counseling a day. This is not possible because you're going to get burnt out. You can meet, your clients for 8 hours a day. That's not make sense, but let's think about 8 hours. So three times. 7. All right. That means 375 days. If you work 8 hours a day, and which means providing counseling 8 hours a day, it takes a little bit more than a year. But it is impossible. So at most, I think, you just you provide real counseling, like 4 hours a day. It can be 2 years plus 30 days. Okay. Then what about the highest level counselors for for the license? 5,000 hours, or let's say it's almost 2 times. So you need to practice. You need to provide 4 hours a day counseling, but if you don't, but there is no break. You work 7 days a week, 4 hours each, and you need to spend 4 full years for practice. Then you can get a license. This is not little. It's a lot of time. Okay. So except holidays or weekends or something like that, it can be 6 years. Can you do that? And you're gonna just write the report for each cases. You need to record that, and you need to think about how you can do and what you can do for your clients next time. That's a lot of years, lots of hours, okay? But even though you got trained so many and then practiced so many hours and days and years, it doesn't guarantee that you have good skills. Think about this. There are lots of baseball players. In the major league and the minor leagues, there are lots of minor leagues. They practice every day, 7 or 8 hours a day. Like the Tigers, he practice, for example, at least 8 hours a day. He lives in the driving range for 8 hours a day because he practices a lot, like Vijay Singh, and they practice a lot. But lots of other players, major leagues and baseballs and PGA golfers, they practice a lot. But are they the best? There are just a few best players in that world. Do they have good skills? Yes, in general, they overwhelming, skills we can see, but even though you are practicing a lot, it doesn't guarantee that you have good skills. And what about the clients? Depends on the cases. Depends on their clients. Our counseling services can be poor and good, or something else. That's why clients are thinking that, will my counselor can help me in real? Okay, second question, will my therapist keep what I say confidential? Sure. Really? Well, there are lots of case books. They just take care of some cases and explanations of the cases, so students can learn counseling stuff. Where they got those cases from their cases, I think. They can modify and change their name, but they have to get permission from their clients to put those story or cases on their books, or they're gonna violate the law and they can get a lawsuit. If they don't get the permission from their clients for using their cases. Well, for that, the clients have to sign on it and agree on the using their cases for sharing with other professionals and other for teaching or for publishing books. But the clients got, they just think about it. Is it confidential? For clients that is confidential thing. So I'm just open my mind and thinking, and then just tell counselors lots of secrets and delicate things, very sensitive things, very personal things. Okay, and they want to know their counselors can keep the secrets, and that is very important. We are just thinking about those questions clients can have because those are quite crucial, very important, very sensitive, and because they expect something, counselors have to, do something compatible with that expectations. So keeping secret is very important. So basically, the counselors or therapists are not supposed to share their cases with others without the client's permission, and that is very important. And I usually don't open my cases and share my cases with my wife even, because I don't want to just share what I know, and because fortunately my wife is counselor, so she knows the confidentiality is pretty important, and she's not gonna just share the story with others. But what if your wife is not a counselor and she is not that careful person? She can just open that case with others or just share, some exciting, because, knowing some other people's secrets is kind of interesting, right? You can just talk about it. You will want to talk about it. So you do talk about it with your friends, and you get in trouble, and your friends will share that story with others too. Even though the clients who shared, who just had counseling with a counselor does not know what's going on, but that is counselor's responsibility. So, and the next question is that will I be able to trust my therapist to treat me with some same respect, care, and attention the therapist would want for him or herself? Yeah. Okay. That is clients' questions. They want to know it. Okay. They want to know it. They want to know that their counselors can treat, the clients with the same expectations. The counselors can get counseling from other counselors, for example, and they want to get same respect. They want to get some certain level of respect from their counselors. So my counselor can, respect me the same way. Okay. Will my therapist uphold moral values that I believe are important? Yes, that's clients can ask and think. Even though they don't ask or just write or something, they still want to know it. They still, so usually the clients don't open everything they have in their mind and heart. Well, because they don't know what's going on in their heart and mind. Even though they know some, they don't want to open everything because they want to know their therapists. And if they don't build any trust, and they not gonna open everything. The clients are gonna open everything until they feel they can trust their therapist. But the therapist can have information only from their speaking and their attitudes, maybe situations, without knowing everything, what's going on in their clients. They cannot help them right way or efficiently. They can't help their clients, That is, better for the counselor and at the same time for the clients. Because both gonna waste of their time and money without solving the client's problems. And then there is no good, right? So, because counselors are there for helping clients, and clients want to get help from their counselors, but they don't open everything each other and so APA code, there's APA, American Psychologists Association. APA is pretty, I think that's the biggest one in the United States. It's for psychotherapists. There are some principles. Principle A is this: beneficence and non-maleficence, following a mandate laid down originally in the Hippocratic Oath. You know what the Hippocratic Oath? The doctors, that's doctor's oath, right? Hippocratic Oath. You want to just take care of, you want to just read the Hippocratic Oath. That is amazing. And when you just read it, you will like, that, you like that, because it is doctor's oath, but that is for their patients. Okay? The ethical therapist seeks to benefit clients and strives not to do things that will harm them. Yes, counselors are there for helping people, not for harming and hurting people, right? And the therapist seeks to advance and refine his or her professional skills and generally avoids areas in which he or she is not knowledgeable. You know what? When I traveled here and there, I like talking with people, the local people especially. So when I ask somewhere I want to go and they answer here or there, well, the best case is that the local person knows well about the area, and he or the local person knows, for example, post office, exactly where it is at. Then the person gonna answer me right way, and I be there in a minute or soon without no problem. or problems. But the worst case is that the local person is very kind, but the local person does not know where the post office is at exactly. The worst case is that the very kind local person who does not know where the post office is at, but the local person guess, and they say, it must be somewhere there. Then I have to try to find that place, but no. So I have to travel all the way back. It happens. It happens. So the worst case is that I asked some questions to a local person who is very kind but who doesn't know where I want to go. Then I got those kind of experiences, and that's horrible. So when I want to know something about the local, I just ask some, not only one, but some local people, and then choose the best answer, I think. Or, for example, one person says the post office is there, and two people are saying that is there, and I choose to go there first. Okay, something like that. Because people are very kind, and they want to be kind, and they basically pretend that they are kind. And when they see foreigners or travelers, and they try their best. Sometimes, I don't know why it can be the best answer, but they are eager to try to help the travelers or strangers or foreigners, then they answer something wrong. Okay. The therapists and Christian counselors have to study continuously, so they just updated their knowledge and skills, so they want to be equipped to provide the best counseling service to their clients. The therapist tries to sensitive to and avoid those things that will harm the client. They have to know the best way. Okay. Some doctors, they want to say to their, patient, when the patient got a cancer or something. Well, it's curable, or it can extend their life in many ways, but what if that long times ago, like 10 or 20 years ago, when a person got a cancer and the person will die, okay, no matter what, because the medical skills are not that advanced at the time, at least compared to now, present. And some doctors will say, oh, you got a cancer. That's gonna shock the client. Okay? Well, the doctors are supposed to say the truth, tell the truth to their clients. You got a cancer. Well, how are you gonna do that? Oh, you got a cancer. You have 6 months or 3 months. You're gonna say that, or you're gonna just say, based on this and that and research or something like that, I'm pretty sure you have cancers, but I will do my best to take care of that. So we can have these options, and you can choose, what you want, and I think the best option must be this. And don't get disappointed, don't get discouraged, we can try our best together. We can work together. Which way they wanna tell the patient. Okay? In usual circumstances where harm is unavoidable, yes. As when the therapist must break confidentiality to protect someone, the therapist does everything possible to minimize the harm. Well, for example, when you, as Christian counselors, you have a client who tried suicide many times, or your clients want to kill somebody because your client does not like the person, the enemy. In those cases, you have to break the confidentiality agreement. That's not in there. That's not in there. So those are exceptions. There is no rule without exceptions. That's I still memorizing from the grammar book, and I just studied English in the middle school. There's no rules without exceptions, and that's the exceptions too. In the medical area, when patients just hospitalized in emergency room, and the doctors or nurses see some kind of a bruise or broken bones from a kid, and the situation is vague and something like that, and based on what happened on the kid's body, and when the nurse and doctors can think that that can be happened by, not from the accident or something like that, but that can be happened by their parents or stepfathers or stepmoms or whatever. If there is any possibilities of domestic violence, they have to report it. That is their responsibilities. Okay, usually doctors, have to keep the secrets and have to keep the patient's record right way, but they can be those are very confidential, patient's information is confidential, but there is exceptions. If that is victimized by others or domestic violence or something like that, they have to report it. Same to the counselors. Okay? Suicide or killing plans to, something like that, and those are exceptions. Okay? Principle B, fidelity and responsibility. Ethical therapists strive to be trustworthy. Clients should be able to trust that their therapist will do the best they can to uphold the essential standards of clinical care and professional conduct. Therapists are sensitive to their responsibility to the wider community and to society. That's the fidelity and responsibility. So Christian counselors, it's from APA, but same to Christian counselors. We're gonna just take care of the AACC code, but APA has the same thing, And the counselors supposed to be trustworthy. And they have to take their responsibilities. So control, knowing and studying the psychotherapies and get trained as counselors and practicing that is way easier than to have to train the counselors' characters. They have to control their lives and, lives and behaviors in their community and in their daily lives. So you don't want to just have Christian counselors who are abusing their families in their homes. You don't want to just get counseling services from, stealing, the counselors who are stealing others, violent, liars, same thing. So studying, well, you just read it and write and memorize. You can study well. You're gonna get diplomas. You're gonna get licensed when you pass the exam. You can practice at the counseling centers for making money. You can do that, but taking care of your characters, as a decent person. I'm not saying that counselors are supposed to try to be saints. No. But we have to, Christian counselors have to take care of and responsibilities their daily lives at the same time. So we can be trustworthy Christian counselors. That is the hardest part. Studying is not that hard, but taking care of your daily lives as this person, that is important. That is the hard part. I think that is the hard part. It's the hardest part for me too. It's not easy. Okay? So if you are, I'm not just, despising other jobs, but if you are car, auto mechanic, they don't care what kind of person you are in your home or something like that. They only care, the clients only care the auto mechanics fixing my car well, and that's it. They don't care their characters much. Okay? They don't care their auto mechanics daily lives. I like auto mechanics. I'm DIY auto mechanic. I'm trying, so I'm gonna go jump yard right after this class for taking some parts I need. I like auto mechanics, but I'm saying they don't care auto mechanics daily lives. They don't care auto mechanics characters much, but for certain jobs like clergies, pastors, priests, nuns, doctors, nurses, and counselors, they have certain, expectations. Okay? I'm gonna just take care of one more and wrap it up today. Principle C, integrity. Oh my goodness, that's what I said. Therapists seek to be honest and consistent in the way they represent themselves and their professional activities. This is important when the therapist is involved in direct clinical service, but it is just as true when the therapist is engaged in research, teaching, or in representing the profession and its knowledge based to the general public. Integrity. Okay? Honest, consistent as their professional activities. Integrity is not repeating the same thing over and over. Integrity means the counselors have to show that counselors have the certain way, the right way, following the standard and codes and provide good services to all clients. As Christian counselors, you provide a better service to the beautiful woman and then not, the woman you don't like. That's bad integrity or something like that. You respect rich people more because they are paying more, and you don't help the poor people. You do your best. That is no real integrity. That is a fraud. Okay? So there are some more principles we need to take care of, but most of the times, so we're going to just wrap it up and we'll just take care of the rest of them next week, and hopefully we can finish and move on to the next